Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another game with me, Voltage McHammer. I have spent hundreds of hours on this game and still haven't beaten it. I hope that gives you a good sign of what is to come. I enjoy playing Pathfinder. However, I don't always have the time to be able to find a new group to be able to play with. My group also only plays every Saturday. So, I picked this game up on a whim, and have thoroughly enjoyed it. And I decided, you know what? Why don't I share this with you guys? If I'm enjoying playing a game, I think that you guys would like to enjoy watching me play a game that I enjoy. So, let's start a new game of Kingmaker. Explore the Stolen Lands, a wild territory that has been contested for centuries. Hundreds of kingdoms have risen and fallen in these lands, and now it is time for you to make your mark by building your own kingdom. To succeed in this, you'll need to survive the harsh wilderness and menace of rival nations, as well as perils from within your own court. Look at all that! Look at all that! I sure do look forward to seeing who all these people in this photo are. There's also the Varnholt Slot DLC, which we're not going to do today, and the Beneath the Stolen Lands roguelite mode, which I will not be doing right now. One day, I might have a character get invited to go over to that. Not right now. Let's begin the main game. First, we pick a difficulty. I could play this game on Unfair. Let's see how bad that is. The game even warns you, please don't play on this difficulty. Oh boy, enemies get to do double damage. The crits aren't taken back. I get 1 life and that's it. If I die, I'm dead, and then that's a game over. When people die, you need to heal them to get them back off the ground, which is pretty normal. Honestly, like that kind of tracks with the normal everything. But enemy difficulty is also insane, where they get the advanced template, which increases all their stats by 8. No, I don't think that sounds fun. I don't think that sounds fun to me. I enjoy playing suboptimal builds, and so I am okay with just playing the game on normal. Thank you very much. They also have things like here that let you turn off the experience share, or only run the game on 1 save file, or all sorts of other nonsense. You know what, let's hide the tutorials, I don't need that. I can turn that part off. If you haven't played Pathfinder before, you get a couple of template characters that have general roles and things for you to do, and you have an idea of what you want to do in the game, you have an idea of what you would like to try. You can do things like that. Like, you want to do range damage, you can just shoot the bow. I have a different plan in mind. I am going to create a custom character. And so you get a choice of a couple of custom character portraits, which are fine, but they might not necessarily be what you're reaching out to, or they might be characters that you will meet very early on in the story, which would then be really weird that you're talking to yourself. So, if you use this little button all the way down here, that's really easy to miss, actually. You can put your own custom portraits into the game, which generates a file somewhere on your computer, which the game happily tells you the location of, and wants you to make 3 very specifically sized PNG files. Specifically PNGs, not JPEGs. Easy enough to fix up, but then you need artistic ability, or the permission to use any other art inside of your videos. You might not have that problem, but I am currently experiencing that problem right now. So fortunately, we have Hero Forge, which is a wonderful system that allows you to create nice little 3D figures of a character using all the various different sorts of presets and paints that I got, and then you can even buy it if you really like that character that you made, so you can have your own little tabletop for your own tabletop sessions in real life. I like it because it allows me to generate character art. They're a wonderful system, those Hero Forge guys. The art stands out a little bit compared to everything else, but you know what? I think that's fine for me. I will be generating Prometheus Goldweave, my first D&D character, and also the character that I use when I first test out any system ever. Yeah, he's got a little bit darker skin than normal. I'm not going to be able to get anything close to what I have on that token. There's just no way. No way at all. let's go with this. Because that's the closest I can get to what's up there. A little bit sad. What can you do? This is not the primary focus of the game. Pathfinder has a lot of character classes. And prestige classes. Which even at character generation, you're able to see what the requirements for the prestige classes are. I personally feel like prestige classes have more merit when they are earned through, say, a story event in-game. But, in terms of raw power, they exist and are there. I am going to be making a bard. But not just any kind of bard. I'm going to be making a Thundercaller Bard. Archetypes exist in the Pathfinder system to allow you to further customize and make your character the way that you want your character to be made, provided that such an archetype exists. For example, the Magus class exists, and it's a bit of a spell sword. It does magic and melee, without provoking normal attacks of opportunity and all the other bad things that come with casting magic and melee. But if you don't want to necessarily be a melee mage, you could be an archer mage. Or you could use there sure are lots of different ways to play. Let me just put it that way. There are lots of different ways to play this game. I am making a Thundercaller Bard. The game is very helpful. It gives you this nice little thing that says this is a stat that you care about. So we're going to pump that stat all the way up, but not all the way up. I am not completely min-maxing a character. I will move my points around a little bit though. I think that is good. A little bit extra health, a little bit lower wisdom, but that's okay. He's suffered a little bit of trauma in his past, which makes him a little bit weaker in the mind. His defenses are a little bit lower, but that's okay. He's good at these. Got this. He has 1 point of this, which hopefully I won't need any more of that, and he's good with magic. Those will be his starting skills. This is a very condensed list compared to what is in Pathfinder 1st Edition. But that's okay, it's a video game. It's okay that's simpler. As a bard, I get a lot of skill points. More intelligence gives me more skill points. I think this is fine. If I wanted to really optimize my character, I'd also drop strength. But I personally enjoy being able to carry things. Like, say, the armor that's on my back. So, yeah, let's go with that. As a half-elf, I get free skill focus. Skill focus is really good in this game because not only does it give you the 3 extra skill points that you have at level 1, it gives you 3 more when you hit level 10, provided you keep on pumping that skill, which you probably are. I'm going to go with Persuasion, because Prometheus really does have a way with words. My other level 1 feat will be Lingering Performance, so that way I can save on my bardic performance rounds. I could take this later and get more benefit from, say, point-blank shot at level 1, but I want my songs to have a lasting effect. Bards are also arcane spellcasters. I want Hideous Laughter so I can target people's will save, and I want Grease so I can target people's reflex save. Being able to target a variety of saves will make you a more effective spellcaster. There's all of these other spells like a heal, or a nice buff that makes you actually move around the map really fast, or oh yes, Sleep, a spell that's good at level 1, and then not. Or Vanish, which is a quick get-out-of-jail-free card. But no, I want Hideous Laughter and Grease. You get a whole lot of choices for voices.
I'm always ready.
Get it off me!
I have no need for this.
We cannot be defeated.
I feel faint.
All this waiting bores me.
I will guide. March, march. All I do is march.
And you can even choose the other type of voice.
Hesitation is a waste of time.
Away, you rascal!
An expected outcome.
I won't take that. Let us bide our time.
We won't falter!
I will see this through.
I did it!
You should have run.
But I'm going to be going with this.
Time's not waiting.
You get to pick your birthday, which has minor relevance and importance in this game. but it still adds lore and depth to your character. And you can also pick your alignment, which does have impact in the game. If you're not a certain alignment, you cannot use certain dialogue choices. You also need to have certain alignments in order to be able to build certain buildings. Prometheus' final alignment will probably end up being neutral good. However, at his earliest points in adventuring, he is probably going to be lawful neutral. We'll see how that shifts as I play the game. Of course, his name is Prometheus Goldweave, but if I add in the last name Goldweave, that will be stuck there forever. So let's go on a first name basis and call him Prometheus.
I'll go ahead.
We shall go ahead to adventure!
Our story started at the mansion of an Aldori sword lord. Drawn by the promise of a most dangerous task and a commensurately huge reward, heroes of all stripes gathered here.
Prometheus is not one of those heroes that was invited here. He was in service of another hero, joining them on another adventure. Unfortunately, that hero met his demise. While going through his personal effects, he found a letter that called for him to be heading up this way. Unable to make the journey in his state, Prometheus decided to go and deliver the bad news. The invitation, however, seemed to be just enough, and he kinda got swept up in things from there.
Where are they? This is taking forever! It didn't even say what this was for, just that the Aldori were looking for heroes. Who are the Aldori anyway? Rich folk?
Ah yes, a barbarian. You know what you know, and not much else.
If you can't be patient, no one's keeping you here. Just go back to your mountains or whatever hole you crawled out of. The Aldori Sword Lords run the premier school for the dueling arts. They're also the richest and most influential group in this part of Brevoy. Take that tone with them, and they'll teach you some manners pretty quickly.
All right, you purple toad, just shut your trap. And if you can't, I'll help you.
Hush! Quiet! They're coming.
Ah yes, the lord of the estate. And their aide? Better to not assume.
Greetings, everyone. I am Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori, and this is Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius of Restov. Welcome to my mansion.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for responding to our call. You may be few, but that's unavoidable. We need only the best of the best for this task. And I see true heroes before me, strong and fearless, exactly what Restov needs.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Now, to the point. South of here, just beyond Brevoy's border, lies a region known as the Stolen Lands. This is disputed territory, and while it's long been claimed by nearby states, it's never been truly taken. I won't bore you with the legal technicalities. Suffice to say that anyone with enough courage and power to seize the Stolen Lands and name themselves Baron or Baroness, claiming dominion, well, none of the neighboring states would be able to challenge it. Of course, Restov would be first to recognize the legitimacy of this new state, as well as the noble title of its founder. Unfortunately, one serious obstacle stands between you and this title. A gang of bandits holds sway in the Stolen Lands. Their chief, who they call the Stag Lord, considers himself the rightful owner of these lands, and no one has yet been able to challenge his power. Bring me his head, and you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands as their legal ruler. Any questions?
Facing bandits is something that Prometheus has done before. However, how bad can this bandit truly be? Why not just recognize this Stag Lord as Baron?
That's a good point. As I see it, this Stag Lord already holds power over the region with confidence. Many noble bloodlines were started by bandits who just got lucky, weren't they?
Perhaps because we do have standards to maintain. This room has seen many celebrations of adventurers, and even those who just got lucky. But giving a noble title to a bandit lord? That's one thing that's never happened here, and it won't while I still breathe.
Prometheus looks around the room. There's a whole team of us. Who exactly will receive the Baron's title?
I will, of course. I'm the leader of this team, after all. Don't worry, though. I'll make it worth your while to help me.
We haven't yet begun, and you already speak of divvying rewards. What makes you think we'll even succeed? There's little point arguing over who gains the title when we'll most likely lose our lives there.
If I may please answer the question.
She takes a long pause, waiting for the voices to die down as everyone directs their attention toward her.
We believe you're all equally deserving of a noble title. Over the course of your expedition, it will be up to you as a team to decide which of you is best suited to rule.
You're helping us found a barony. What do you gain from such generosity?
Don't ask stupid questions. Why should you even care? What they have to gain and why, that's for Lady Aldori and I to discuss. It's none of your concern. Your only concern is to swing your sword around, or whatever it is you do.
Of course, we stand to benefit from this enterprise. But if you're concerned that we intend to rule your country from afar, using you as a front, well, please know that these concerns are unfounded. Let's just say that we have a strong interest in the region's stability. We have need of a ruling power we can negotiate with, not bandit gangs and monster hordes.
What is that smell in the air? Is it the smell of unspoken words and political intrigue?
Noticing you've heard her comment, she winks at you coyly. Prometheus turns away and coughs. What rewards can we expect exactly?
And what reward would you seek beyond a noble title and your own lands?
We'll absorb the costs of preparing and equipping your expeditions. Once you return victorious, Restov will also allocate you a significant sum to provide financial support for you to establish your country. Essentially, we'll help you build your capital. I hope such a reward is satisfactory.
Words, words, words. Significant, financial. I can't fill my belly with pretty words.
Of course. There will also be an official banquet held in your honor. All of Rostov's high society will gather to celebrate your feat.
Now you're talking.
The cogs begin to turn in Prometheus's head. If there are to be many moguls at this feast afterwards, even if he is not the one who is claiming the title of Baron, that does offer many employment opportunities for him to continue his travels and adventures. Being relatively ill-equipped as he is from his latest travels, he's got nothing better to do than to join this expedition. It's clear as day.
Excellent. You venture forth tomorrow. For now, you can take some time to get to know one another better. Or you can head straight to your guest rooms to get some rest. You'll find we've already prepared supplies for you there. And thank you again for agreeing to take part in this expedition. I wish you luck.
Thank you again, with all my heart, for replying to this call. The flare in your eyes reveals your courage, the unshakable will that distinguishes true heroes. I look at you, O champions of Restov, and doubt not for a second that you'll be victorious. So venture forth toward your feet. Go, and return in triumph.
Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a bard, though this is my first real adventure. So, shall we go teach this stag lord a lesson?
Prometheus smiles softly, staring down at the halfling. I'm Prometheus. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. Actually, I also wanted to ask you something. How do you feel about this Tartuccio fellow? I think he's pretty obnoxious personally. He appointed himself head of the team, and he's just after the Baron's crown, or whatever it is barons wear. Doesn't matter. I don't like him. I think you should be team leader. When I first saw you, I couldn't help but think, now here's a real hero. Someone who'll be praised in poems and songs. This is the person I'll write my book about.
Prometheus remembers that there was someone who was attempting to write the book about his previous employer. Instead of a bard, it was an expert. Someone who was trained at writing books. Unfortunately, things did not end so well for them either. He tries to push that thought to the back, far away from his forefront of his mind, as he stares down at the small novelist. I'm no hero, just a mercenary.
And what are you a mercenary for? Is it only riches? Or maybe you want glory, too? Don't you want your feats to be remembered and glorified for centuries? Just listen. You know what the trouble with most heroes' biographies is? They're always written years later, based on the tales of, best case, people who saw things from the outside. Worst case, someone heard about it from their brother, who heard it from their friend, who heard it from their cousin, and so on, adding a new batch of lies each time. Every time I read about a heroic journey, I think to myself, why didn't they just bring a bard with them to write it all down properly? And then I thought, I could be that bard. I just needed to find a suitable hero and volunteer to follow along on their glorious adventure. A great plan, huh? And here we are, with a heroic journey lying before us. Who's going to be the hero? Some dwarf who keeps muttering about how we'll all die? Or maybe that horrific scythe lady? Or, God's forbid, Tartuccio? No way.
Prometheus absolutely does not see himself as a hero. What about that barbarian? She looks pretty heroic. I think her name's Amiri?
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. You can tell she could tear a bear's head off with her bare hands, but she kind of scares me just a little. But, I mean, her sword's twice as big as I am. She could cut me down without even noticing. Just think on it a bit, all right? I'm sure you'll agree.
Perhaps.
All right. I'm going to my room to write about tonight. See you in the morning.
A room, huh? Well, first, let's talk with everybody we can. Mondi says, get some rest before the road. You have a difficult journey before you. Her guard, Keston Garess, says, I'll double the guard for tonight, just as a precaution. We can talk to some unnamed adventurers. Just simple bandits? We'll deal with them in no time. How about this Tartuccio fellow? Tomorrow our glorious journey begins. Are you ready? I hope so. I don't need layabouts on my team. Miri says, finally, the idle talk's over. Can't wait till you set out. Gilthal says, what game is Jamandi playing? Not used to feeling like a pawn. Aram says, this expedition is surely doomed. Ah, yes. If we zoom over here, Cassie says, northern architecture is beautiful, but very heavy. In my native land of Kadira, our palaces are furnished quite differently. Let me expand this just a little bit so I can read a little bit more. And I think that we will retire to our private room. Prometheus smiles at that thought. Private room. Up until now, he's been staying at campfire, surrounded by the others in the group, or at travelers' inns, where all the beds are put in one room together, so you're right next to anybody else who pays for the night. A private room? My own personal room? That sounds pretty awesome. Let's go into our room.
Help! Help!
Lindsay bursts into your room. She looks scared. Her face is smeared with soot, and she holds a weapon in her hands. What's going on?
The mansion's under attack. We need to help. Some villains broke in and started killing everyone. I barely made it. Hurry, we have to help the guards fight off the attackers, or we'll all be cut down one by one.
As if to lend credence to Lindsay's words, a scream echoes from the hallway. She busts out to go and try and help them. Just as she does so, this guy bursts in. You're not going anywhere.
Enemy approaching.
Right now we have turn-based mode on. I want it that way. They won the initiative roll, they went first. They rolled low compared to my armor. I'm using a ranged weapon. I'm in melee with this person. That sounds like a really bad idea. So I'm going to take a 5-foot step, get out of melee, and not provoke the attack of opportunity.
This
Yeah.
should do it.
That's a little damage. And now the loop begins. I'm going to back myself into a corner real quick.
Calculated risk.
But I did just enough damage. Good. This is not the first time Prometheus has taken things from a dead body. After all, there was his previous employer. And this chain shirt is better than the leather armor that I'm currently equipped with. So let's slap that on. And I think for now, he's worried about being backed into a corner. So I'll equip this rapier, my backup weapon, which does have the finesse property on it, which means I can use my dexterity to hit. It still uses strength for damage, which I don't really have any of. But I think this is where I'm going to call it for this episode. Next time, we're going to try and discover what the problem is with this mansion, and maybe get out alive. Find out next time on the riveting episode of Kingmaker! Later, Pathfinders.